Hey guys, it's Jewel, and today I'm doing a video on something that I think is super important, and it should be talked about a lot more. And that is live plants for hermit crabs. This is part 1 out of, I don't know, of the Bioactive series for hermit crabs. You don't have to watch them in order. I don't think it really matters, at all, but this is part 1 because most people start with plants. So yeah, I'm gonna list some plants, but before I show you guys any plants, I want to talk about substrate. Substrate is most likely the most important thing in keeping your plants alive. First off, the first option, you can get pots with good soil and keep them in there. If you really don't want to make the hermit crab's entire soil a really, really good one, you can do that. It's a good option. Or you can do something like what I do and use organic, fertilizer-free, top potting soil and peat moss as the bulk of your mix, which support and sustain plant life amazingly. And then you can add just eco earth or sand or whatever. I recommend things like sand and wood chunks, no pine, cedar, grape, cherry, or any firs. And maybe even a tiny, tiny bit of gravel and just good stuff like that. It adds texture so tunnels are less likely to collapse when the crabs molt. And it gives the plant roots something to grab onto so they're not just hoping that they don't collapse, So yeah, that's a super important thing. You also have to have a drainage layer. Even if your plants are in pots, you need a drainage layer. Basically, you can put clay balls, hydroponic balls, clay rings, ceramic rings, bio balls, bio rings, any sort of thing like that. Basically anything. And you put a layer of them at least 1 inch deep, preferably at least 2 inches, but at least 1 inch. And you add a layer of mesh. You don't need to tape or glue down the mesh or anything. You just cut it. I cut 2 inches larger on every side, just so it wouldn't collapse in on itself, but it could also still support the things. That's just so dirt won't get into the bowls. The drainage layer just makes sure that any extra water, which you're going to have, no doubt in my mind, is going to be in the bottom. Otherwise, if it just stayed in the bottom of the dirt, it would get moldy and the plants would die and their roots would rot and they would get way more water than they could ever need, and it wouldn't be good. Your hermit crabs would not be happy, they could die, and your plants would almost certainly die. It's the same thing as the holes in the bottom of a pot, but you can't really drill holes in the bottom of your tank since hermit crabs really should be kept inside. And who's gonna drill holes in the bottom of their tank for it to run onto their carpet? Right, so also sorry about my voice. I have a cold, so I'm just kind of dying. So let me get into the plants now. I'm just gently taking the lid off the hermit crab tank. For most of these, they are already in my tank, so I can't take them out, but I can take the camera to them. Now, this beauty, this big thing, is a bromeliad. I don't know if you guys got a good view at it, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right since I do all my research on articles. Bromeliad, yeah, I think I'm correct. It's a really pretty one, Bromeliad, bromeliad. They're really pretty, and they're 100% safe for hermit crabs to eat. They are not toxic, so I definitely love that. It's very important. Any toxic plant should always be avoided and never be used. And yeah, so it's a great plant. I love especially its root system, since its root systems are really small, so they won't take up too much molting space of your crab, and that is a worry of mine. When you have too many plants, sometimes it'll take up all their molting space. So you want to get plants with the most compact root systems you can, or you can keep them in pots, which honestly I don't like keeping them in pots. To me it just kind of defeats the purpose, but I know some people do. So if that's what you like, then you do you. The next plant, I would say, and I can pick up this one to show you guys, which is a lot better. Let me show you. This is pothos. Mine is a golden pothos. When you first put them in, the leaves are probably going to turn yellow. That means they're acclimating to their new environment. This is a really good one. I just stole a little sprig from my friend's grandma, and I put it in the water dish. I put 2 in the water dish and 2 in the dirt, and the 2 that are doing best are the ones in the water dish. So pothos is a water addict. That is the type of plant that loves water. And it's a really, really good plant. It grows like a weed. It's super safe for them to eat. It's so pretty. The main issue is when you're acclimating it to a new environment. It does get pretty scared. It'll die. That's the most common time for it to die, I would think. And it's not really too easy. It's pretty easy to take care of, but when you're getting it in a new environment, it's going to be a bit of effort. Alright, so I got more plants here. Let me pick up one more. Well, I have more, but one more from inside the tank. I have some that aren't planted yet. This is a wandering Jew. I have more, but I just got a small snippet. And this is a really, really great plant. I absolutely love it. 100% safe for crabs to eat. And yeah, you do have to be careful with it though, because they will trample it, and that's a really low-lying plant, so it's probably going to get trampled. So you can put it in a pot hanging, so it's like not going to get trampled, but then they might climb on it and pour it over. It's a good plant, but it's not the best. Next is Pileas. Pileas. That's the plural. Just take off the S if you just want one. It's a really beautiful plant, and everybody loves it. Absolutely everybody loves it. Mine is, I ordered it online from Josh's Frogs. I love Josh's Frogs. They sell invertebrates and cleanup crews and frogs, of course, and they sell all sorts of cool things. Oop, can you see me? And they checked the weather temperatures near me before they sent it, and they did all sorts of good stuff that I absolutely love them for. And yeah, I think they're a great source. Pileas is a good plant. Again, it does stay pretty low to the ground, so if you can keep it in a floating pot, that would be a lot better, because, you know, hermit crabs will trample it. You can, like, do this number when you order them most of the time. If you don't buy them in person, they're going to be all jumbled up. So yeah, put them on a high spot, just so they won't get trampled as much. They are safe to be eaten, and mine's a tiny Pileas. It's going to get a lot bigger. So yeah, it's a good plant. The next one, also, all these plants do like hermit crab temperature and humidity. Make sure you water them a lot, since they just like the humidity so much. Next one would be spider plant. This is my spider plant. Its name is Mary. All my plants are named. I can't believe I haven't been sharing their names. There's Gerald, Joe, Jojo, Joey, Joanna, Jenny. My creepy Jenny is named Jenny. Mary Jane, Vanessa, Bobalina, but everybody calls him Bob. I'm not gonna keep going on, you guys get it. Yeah, so this is my spider plant. It's a really pretty plant, and everybody loves it, especially a certain friend of mine. You know who you are. I don't know if you want me to say your name in this video or not, so I'm not gonna risk it. But yeah, so it's a really pretty plant. It loves the temperatures and humidities of hermit crabs. I would recommend putting it closer to the cold side since it doesn't like the temperature as much as it likes the humidity. So yeah, I recommend definitely doing the cold side of the tank if you're going to get this one. But it's a beauty, and everybody loves this one. It's literally a weed. I got this one off Amazon from a seller in California. It's brand new, which is why it's so curly right now. When it's in a new environment, or if it was just shipped, it's pretty normal for them to be curly like that. My next suggestion would be fern plants. Fern plants are amazing. They do pretty good in the humidity that hermit crabs like, but they don't do the best in the temperatures that they like. So definitely only ever put this on the cold side of the tank. I wouldn't personally keep it. It is edible, and the main thing is it just hates the temperatures that hermit crabs have. So I wouldn't really recommend any type of fern, but it is possible if you absolutely cannot find anything else for sale. My next plant recommendation would be a creeping Jenny. Yeah, I was debating on whether or not I've already said that. I have a pot of it shipping to my house, wabba dabba doo. And it's a really great plant. But they trample it so diddly darn easily. I got one from Lowe's, and it was already like dying, but there were no other pots. I put it in there, and it seemed okay, but it just got trampled and eaten. They eat it so much. You would not believe. It's more of a treat than a plant for them, but it's a good plant if you're okay with it like dying within a week. So yeah, and the plants I would really never recommend that are commonly used would be chia and flax, mint and basil, any sort of seasonings like that. First of all, the smell of things like mint, basil, oregano, chives, etc., it's really not good for them, and I really would not say you should use it. Absolutely not. And also, they're toxic if they have too much. They can have a tiny bit of mint and a tiny bit of chia and flax, but they are toxic if they have a lot, and hermit crabs love them. So they will eat a lot. So you really don't want to use plants like that. Absolutely do not recommend. Yeah. So thank you for watching this video. Comment down below what you want me to do next. I'm going to do a part on cleanup crews, and I know I'm doing cleanup crews. I'm probably going to do a more in-depth one on substrate. Yeah. I don't know. Comment down below what you want my next bioactive hermit crab video to be. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye. Are you?